welcome.
Welcome.
Housewives of True Crime.
Housewives of True Crime. Happy Easter, everybody.
Easter edition. Oh, bunny, cute.
I know. It never gets old, right? Every year.
Before Easter, have you shopped for your bunny baskets?
Yeah, we're actually getting home the Saturday before Easter. So I was at the Marshalls and I saw these giant eggs that are filled with crap.
Oh, already filled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So I just bought that. I'm just going to stick that in their little Easter bags and maybe get some candy.
Okay, that's good. I have yet. I actually bought one thing so far. My daughter is really into slime, which I'm okay with now because she's older.
Slime is the worst. Isn't it the worst?
It still is the worst. I mean, it is the worst. She had some on a towel. It doesn't come off. Like once it's dried, doesn't come
always
out.
want to make. We tried teaching our kids that they were allergic to it for a while. They believed me for like a minute. We were like, we can't. I'm sorry, we can't with this. You're allergic.
Oh my gosh. They're like, we just won't use borax, okay, Mom? We'll use shaving cream.
Yeah, they figured it out.
Yeah. So anyways, I did buy my daughter some slime shit because I'm a sucker. Like she loves it so much. And I'm like, you're not going to like it for that much longer. I'm in this stage, right? Because she's 13. So I'm like,
I feel like I thought I was almost out of the slime phase. Like she's 13 and she still likes slime. Is there no hope?
I told you she's on the younger side of teenagers. She loves still playing and being active and not gossiping and talking shit, which I appreciate, but she also loves still kid stuff like slime. So now I'm holding on to every moment of kid stuff that I can still until she goes to the dark side of being a teenage girl.
I'm about to tell you about some 13-year-olds that went to the dark side.
Oh no.
Yeah. So keep making that slime,
gosh.
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I bought so far, but I will not be buying my boys any sort of slime existence.
Well, I kind of, my kids, when they were little, I used Easter as an excuse to buy them a thing that they wanted. But then when they got older, I decided to scale it back. Like, I think Easter is just about getting chocolate bunnies.
I think so too.
Well, they don't appreciate that. They're we remember when we were 4 and we got a toy. Yeah. A toy. Yeah. I'm like, well,
not anymore. Easter Bunny is cheap.
Yeah. Easter Bunny is a cheap bitch.
Yeah. Is your Easter Bunny a girl or a boy?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember we went to this Easter spring extravaganza.
Yeah.
Like you do, to get the pictures, and there was a boy Easter Bunny and a girl Easter Bunny.
What?
I mean,
you know how many babies those things are going to have? Lots.
Oh my God, so many, right? It's pretty effing scary, right?
What?
Those bunny costumes look a little creepy.
They are creepy.
Yeah.
They are creepy. And do your kids really believe that there's an Easter Bunny?
No, I spoiled the whole thing for them this year. I know. Everyone has told me what a terrible parent I am. But so I think that has given my kids more ammunition to come after me. Like, you already wrecked it for us. You can't not buy us a toy now too.
Yeah. They're like, we know it's you. So you better be buying us a toy.
I'll report back, but I foresee some fits happening.
I could see that,
which I will say, I don't purchase things for children who throw fits.
Oh, that's a good.
Never going to work.
Oh, listen to this. My son threw a fit. My 9-year-old threw basically a temper tantrum, and he was very hungry. So I will give him that. But I needed to make one stop in Home Depot, and I was like, we'll get you food right after. Throws a complete, embarrassment. And I was embarrassed. Okay. So I held strong on my discipline, which I am not that good at. And
it's good. I haven't had one of those embarrassing fits in a minute, but when they do happen, you do have to hold strong.
Okay. So when they were like 2, you just leave the store.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah.
But at this point I was like, I don't have time to leave the store. I need to, and he wants me to leave the store. So I'm like, I need to buy what I need to buy at Home Depot right now. So it was embarrassing, but I had to just pull through. And then I was like, you are not going to your sleepover that you were supposed to go to, and you are not doing anything else. And he was like, I don't want to go to baseball. I was like, great. You're going to go to 2 baseball practices then.
I know. Did you do the thing like I do, like in the walk to the car? Like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here, people. Smile and wave, everybody.
No,
and then you get in the car, put on the child safety locks, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. I mean, no, I was pretty pissed and I was real mad. And then also, so I was supposed to be going over to a friend's house and he was supposed to sleep over, right? So we were going to have wine and then he was going to sleep over there. Well, I was like, you're not taking away me going to like have wine with my friends. You are going to sit in their house outside with your book and watch all the kids play while I drink my wine and then we're going to leave.
Oh, that is,
I only had
was
one
that
glass
successful?
Too, by the way. So,
okay. Yeah.
I didn't drink and drive my kid.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that interesting though? You punish a child now by giving them a book. You have to read it.
I'm like, this is what you could do. But yeah. So
yeah, that's how it goes.
Yep.
All right. Well, are you ready to hear?
I am.
Okay, let's get crimey. Okay, Tab. Today's case takes place in the land of the peaches.
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah.
Georgia.
More specifically, kind of suburban Atlanta.
Oh.
This is where one Jarmecca Whitehead grew up. She went by the name Nikki, so that's what I'm going to call her. Nikki was very close to her grandmother growing up because her mother was incarcerated when she was young. Listen, everybody makes mistakes. Her mother turned her life around and she had Nikki's younger siblings who sing her praises. But there was a time when Nikki and her mother, Linda,
were not good.
They butted heads around 12. Yeah. And
listen, we were just talking about it.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So to keep the peace, Nikki went and lived with her grandmother for a minute. Okay. So Nikki liked living with grandma. Her name was Della. I mean, what teenager wouldn't? Because Della let her do whatever she wanted.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah. So the result of that was when she was 17, she found herself pregnant and the father was not in the picture. So Nikki had to grow up real fast, extra fast, actually, because when she delivered the baby, she was surprised with another baby that had been hiding in the ultrasound.
No way. What year was this?
Oh, 1993.
Okay. So still those like sonograms weren't so good.
Oh, maybe they just didn't make her do as many. But I mean, that can happen with twins where one is just hiding behind the other and they just see one heartbeat. Yeah. So here she is, just 18 years old with twins.
Whoa.
Yeah.
18 years old with one kid
is a lot.
A lot.
With two is, yeah. So Nikki's grandmother helped her with the twins. She named them Jasmiyah and Tasmiyah, called them Jazz and Taz. But
that's really cute.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But Nikki went to beauty school and became a successful stylist to support her girls. So, that's great, right? She's got the support of grandmother who helped raise her, helping her raise her little girls while she goes to beauty school so she can do it all on her own. She became a successful stylist and her little girls were her pride and joy. She had them in piano, ballet, tennis, modeling. That takes a lot. It's ambitious, right?
Yeah.
And Jazz and Taz were gorgeous, which is not surprising because Nikki herself was stunning. She is one of those unicorn women that has such a beautiful face that they look amazing with, short hair, like real short or real long. Any way they want to swing it, they can just, wear it, right? Not me. So there is no doubt that Nikki loved her girls and worked her ass off to provide for them, but her relationship with them was not without complications because it seems since Della, the grandma, was the major constant in their lives, they kind of looked at Della more as the mother than Nikki. They kind of treated her more like a sister.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty common in situations like that where teen moms kind of grow up with their kids.
Yes, for sure.
The thing was, Nikki did grow up and she did not want to see her girls make the same choices that she had at a young age. So she stepped up to the mama role and the girls did not like that, which was amplified by their great-grandma Della sabotaging their mother's attempt at discipline. And any mama knows, when we bring down the thunder, it don't matter who you are. You better agree or shut up, right?
Yes.
So it sounds like that's not what Della did. So over the years, there were a couple of instances where things escalated. Like once when one of the twins snuck out to be with a boy, Nikki was so worried she called the police. And then there was another time when one of the twins jumped out of the car while Nikki was driving.
That is so freaking dangerous, dude.
Oh my God. Yeah. And such a you've really lost control of your child. They are not afraid of anything. So scary as a parent. Then there was a time when the girls physically attacked her and she called the police. So that incident led to Nikki and the girls going to juvenile court when the girls were 13. According to Nikki's mother, Linda, what happened in court was Nikki wanted the girls to be scared straight by the whole experience. She felt like they were out of control. It didn't feel like they were scared of anything. So the judge asked Nikki, do you want the girls to come home with you? And she said to the judge, they can come home as long as they understand that the disrespect will not be tolerated. Well, apparently the judge took that some kind of way. Look at these sweet girls. And let me tell you, they do look really sweet. They're honor roll students,
Yeah.
What is wrong with this mama who doesn't want them to come home? But of course, she did want them. She just wanted the judge to tell them that they need to be listening to their mama.
Yeah, she wanted. It's like when you want to call the police and be like, "What do you think? My child doesn't want to put seatbelts on?"
Yeah, you just want somebody. You just want a little backup. That's what she was looking for. Okay. Well, the judge asked the girls, "Where do you want to go?" And of course, the girls said, "We want to go live with Grandma Della." Right? Well. This was a blow to Nikki, but she followed court orders to get counseling with the girls weekly and was adamant about getting the girls back in her custody over the next 2 years. And she finally won it, but it was on a 2-week trial to see how everyone managed living together again. Okay. Now, Nikki lived in a real nice home in Conyers, Georgia, in a gated community. She lived there with her longtime boyfriend, Robert, in a bit of an unconventional relationship. Robert and Nikki had been together for years, and Jazz and Taz liked him. He was quite a bit older than Nikki, but that didn't matter to either of them. Robert provided this beautiful home for Nikki and the girls, and he enjoyed sharing his life with them when he was around, which wasn't a lot. Robert was a long-haul trucker, and so he spent a lot of time away from the home. While Robert was away, Nikki did play. Okay, she has Sancho named Joe. Now, Robert knew Nikki did her thing when he was gone. He's old. He was cool with it just as long as she didn't advertise it in front of him.
Right.
Well, Jazz and Taz were actually not cool with it. They were here's our strict mama who is so extra about us messing with boys and never lets us go out and have any fun. And then she's all about going out and having fun with Joe. Well, that's one of their main complaints about Nikki was they said she was a hypocrite. So here's what
she's allowed to be a hypocrite when she is an adult.
She's not a hypocrite. She's grown. Mind your business. Okay. When you're grown, you could do you too. Okay. So the girls are in the midst of this 2-week trial with Nikki, and it seemed to be going all right. They had called Grandma Della and told her that they thought they could stay this time. Everything is all good. But in January 2010, something tragic happened. Taz ran out into the street and a police car happened to be driving by. She flagged him down and told him her and her sister had just come home from school and found their mama dead. Police entered the home and officers describe it as the most violent, bloody crime scene they had ever seen. Nikki had been stabbed repeatedly and beaten and dragged all over the house and was left lifeless in the bathtub.
Dude, you're going to tell me these girls did it, and I am not happy about this.
I'm not there yet.
I know.
Hold your horses. Okay.
I know, but I just don't want to hear that.
Okay.
The
girls were taken to the police station and questioned about who could have done this to their mother. The girls were quick to pin it on Sancho.
Mm-hmm.
They explained to the police how their mother had multiple boyfriends. And given the nature of the crime, both of these men were immediately suspects. First, there's Robert, whose house it was. He's 500 miles away at the time driving a truck, according to his employer, who they called right away, which was true and later verified through gas station footage of him. And then there was Joe. The girls told the police about how their mother had been arguing with Joe lately because he'd been trying to break things off with her. Joe didn't want to be a Sancho anymore. He wanted some genuine love. he was trying to move on to the next level with a new lady, and Nikki was not a fan. Joe was a barber at the shop next to where Nikki was a stylist, and the girls knew that, so he was not hard to find. Police went down to the barber shop, spoke with him about his relationship, and he said yes, that it's true. He was trying to break things off with Nikki. They proceeded to inform him that that was no longer a problem because Nikki was dead. And they were sure this was not news to him, but it seemed like it was. Joe broke down.
Oh.
Yeah. Next thing the police officers did was, knowing Nikki had put up a fight with her assailant, given the crime scene, they asked Joe to take off his shirt and show them his hands to check for scratches or anything to indicate that he'd been in a scuffle. Nothing. So they began investigating the girls that they had been sympathizing with. Something about their story had not been adding up, but they certainly didn't want to accuse these sweet-looking teenage girls of being involved with their mother's brutal murder until they had ruled out like all the other possibilities. While the girls were at the station, they had given officers a couple of reasons to go all, Scooby-Doo, like I say, like, what? Okay. For one, they asked the girls while they were waiting for a ride if there was anything they could bring them to comfort them.
Okay.
And the girls said, could we just go watch some CSI? What? That's weird, right?
Because they want to see like what they can do to help their own case or something. Like that's
shit,
weird.
Right? That's their favorite show. Yeah. Okay. The other thing was the girls did not take off their jackets or gloves at the station. Well, they finally asked them to, and there were several bite marks, bruises, and scratches on them. The girls claimed that they had gotten these while fighting with each other. And let me tell you, they're pretty believable. In the footage of them in the interview room, they are holding on to each other and crying and saying, I don't want my mommy. We have to be strong so they can find out who did this. So, you can get why initially officers weren't suspicious of them.
Yeah.
But you can see clearly the girls had watched just enough CSI to know that they were being filmed the whole time.
Yeah.
Officers let the girls go while they gathered evidence. So
did they surveillance them?
They did not surveil them, but it's quite the crime scene to investigate.
Yeah.
Right. And they've got to, verify all the blood evidence and stuff. It takes a minute. So the girls attended Nikki's funeral. Turns out the police were not the only person suspicious of the girls when they showed their faces at the funeral with their boyfriends and weren't shedding any tears. Instead, they were seen giggling. Nikki's brother kind of lost it and yelled at them, what did you do to my sister? That's ugly.
I can't believe they would do that to their mom.
Oh, God. Okay. So after the funeral, the girls went back to attending high school. They went to prom. They're living it up. Living with great grandma Della. They got their way.
God.
While they were busy with all that, the local detectives were building the case against them. It took a minute. Like 5 months, but they were able to prove that the girls had lied about getting to school on time. They actually didn't get there until 10:30 in the a.m. They started to walk to school and then asked some random dude at a gas station for a ride.
That's smart. Safe. Real safe.
Real safe. Yeah, we don't advocate that. Okay. Also, how bummed is this guy who obviously did just get, there's camera footage, legit just gives the girls a ride to school. Okay. So he's thinking like, what a nice person I am. 4 girls are running late and had a long way to walk to school. And I'm just going to give them a ride. I'm not going to rape them or rob them or anything. I'm just going to give them a ride. Okay. Then the police find his car because it's on the gas station surveillance camera. And they're like, we're going to need to take your car apart. We think you might be involved in a murder.
Oh my God.
It's like no good deed goes unpunished.
God, totally.
Right? Yeah, he's fucked. He's like, fuck. Okay.
It's like, what? Why did I even pick these stupid girls up?
That's right. So they also matched the bite marks on the girls with Nikki's dental records. And they found blood spatter that was a mix of Nikki's and the girls' blood. Interesting thing about that is because they are identical twins, they have the exact same DNA. So they couldn't identify specifically which one it was. It's kind of freaky, right?
It was both, though.
Yeah, I know, but
That
is always freaky, right?
Yeah.
Like you could murder someone and blame it on your twin.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the case against the girls was basically one of them hit Nikki over the head with a big vase, thinking that would knock her unconscious. But when it didn't, it turned into like a fight to the death that no one could even imagine. And the girls realized when it was over that there was just too much for them to even attempt to clean up. So they just left it, except for the clothes they were wearing during the assault. They put those in the washing machine, which a blood-stained load in the washer is a real giveaway, girls. Okay? Maybe watch
Not
a little
enough
more
CSI.
CSI. Yeah.
Not enough.
Okay. Also, in the girls' journals, they found notes to each other that said stuff like, I think we should kill her. I don't like it here. We should definitely kill her. She has it coming. So Taz and Jazz are pretty cooked, right?
Yes.
They were arrested on the
But how old are they at this time?
16. They were 16.
So they're going to get out.
Okay, so they're arrested on the last day of school, which I think is just an extra little stinger, you know? I mean, you're like, school's out for summer.
Yeah.
Clink, clink. Yeah, no. Okay.
No, they're going to the clink, clink.
Yeah, that's right. No pool parties for you. Okay, so after their arrest, they could be heard on the police vehicle, which I didn't really realize this. You know, they can record you in the police car. You don't see a lot of that footage.
Sometimes
I mean,
you
I guess
do,
I know
though.
it's out there, but I forget. I might forget if I was arrested that I was being recorded in the police vehicle.
True. Although you see that camera, you know, facing you. You know, when you get into the Uber and they have that too, I don't like it. I mean, it's probably for my own safety and theirs, but I don't want you knowing what I'm talking about.
Right.
I should not be talking about anything.
But you always are.
But I always am. Open book.
So that's the problem. Okay. Well, be mindful. You're being recorded. Okay. So these girls who were all, oh, I want my mommy in the police station are on the recording in the police vehicle saying, what the hell? Those motherfuckers didn't even read me my rights. Show me a murder weapon. They don't have that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you see the other side, okay? It's shocking. They don't even seem scared like a little bit. They're like, bring it on. Attitude, okay?
Attitude.
But the thing is, a couple years in the clink will make you scared, okay? After thinking of spending forever in there. It took about 3 years for the girls to get a trial date. So they were locked up that whole time. And right before it was supposed to begin, they decided to plead guilty. The prosecutor says at this point, his thoughts were he was willing to give them a plea because the whole twin DNA thing was going to be like a real headache for him in court. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to hear for himself the girls confess, like ahead of the court date. The girls' story was that their mother was still drunk from the night before, and she woke them up for school and began calling them names like whores. And when they were getting ready for school, it was Nikki who first grabbed a knife and threatened the girls with it, and it just got out of control from there.
Your mom's yelling?
We all yelling.
Everybody's yelling.
We mad. I had took the pot from her. This one she had grabbed the knife and kind of turned like she said, get back. But she didn't keep the knife in her hand. My mom just went in that barrel with the knife or whatever, so I picked up the pot. And I hit her with the pot.
They did say they were remorseful and they didn't hate her. And if they could do it all over again, they would call the police. But the prosecutor and most of their own family members don't believe them. No. Nikki's mother, Linda, says anyone that knew Nikki knows it's impossible. She never even spanked those girls. And she was just incapable of initiating violence with them. Their great-grandma Della is still in their corner, though.
Of course.
She actually kind of blames her daughter, Linda. She says she had been peacefully raising the girls with little help from Nikki for years. And it wasn't until Linda got in Nikki's head that she should have the girls full time, which Della says is probably just because she has her own regrets about Della raising Nikki, you know, for her when she was on hard times. Mm-hmm. In her teenage years. Anyways, she says that was like the catalyst for everything. So it's a cluster. Yeah. Okay. And I mean, I think the thing where she says there's two very different, I mean, Della saying that, you know, she had little help from Nikki. And then there's all of these friends and family who say the girls were everything to Nikki. They acknowledged, you know, Nikki did like to go out and party and stuff like that, but she was doing everything for her girls at the same time. She was only 34 years old. I imagine she had a lot of energy.
Wow. Yeah.
She was hot, in her prime.
Totally.
Let her go out, right?
Because she had those girls so young, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Della says she makes no excuses for the twins, but she's never actually asked them what happened.
Why?
So
I always wonder that.
she doesn't want to, she knows, and
she doesn't want to
know. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's complicated, right? Because these girls probably have some abandonment issues. I mean, it is a different situation having the teen mother, but, and looking at her as more of a sister, and that is hard when someone who has not had the authoritative role takes one in your life, right? That's something you've got to maneuver. But then they have this relationship with Della that sounds like some real unhealthy enabling was involved, Plus they're hormonal teenagers. I just think this transition to, if Della would have had Nikki's back, I think this story would not be something we were talking about.
Yeah, we're kind of blaming the grandma, but
I think she played
a role.
Yeah. I mean, she could never have foreseen how violent it was going to happen. But also there's some evidence that, the girls had some real mental health issues that was probably triggered by the whole situation. I mean, it was violent, so violent. There's evidence that Nikki made it to the door and then they dragged her back.
It's the same situation as last week.
Lululemon. Yeah. She was stabbed 45 times.
These girls are, not one of them is like, like maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, right? Well, there's the whole twin thing, which is scary, right? Because I have twins and I want to live,
Thank God they're not identical, okay? So we can tell which one actually did it.
Totally, right? Nikki's friends say things were just so challenging for Nikki to navigate because there was always two of them, They could always gang up on her. When they had to deal with the police or whatever, it was like they always backed up each other's story. They thought alike. That whole evil twins thing. It's, not that if you're a twin, you're evil, but you could be, right? Easily.
Even if you're not a twin, you could be evil too.
True. Okay. Well, they are separated now. The girls pled to involuntary manslaughter and were asking for 10 years.
Hey, they at least got that right. They made a plea deal.
Yes, they did get that right. They made a plea deal. So they asked for 10 years, but what they ended up getting in their plea deal was 30 with the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
If they do serve their entire sentences, they will be released in 2040 when they are 46.
How long do they have to serve? Because they were underage when they did it.
Well, okay. So they are eligible for parole now, but they haven't been granted it. So I don't know the next time it's coming up, but they can communicate now with each other only through written letters. They don't even get to email.
Okay.
Great grandma Della is still alive. She's in her 80s and she visits both of them and says she's very proud of them for getting their GEDs and continuing to take classes. Now there is some tension in the family because of Della being so supportive of the girls. Nikki's mother, Linda, says 30 years is all they got. God help us. If they would kill their mother, who will they hurt when they get out, right? I mean, she's their grandmother.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. At one of the girls' sentencing, I read in an article that Linda broke down and her friend was like comforting her and saying to Della, like, this is your daughter. You should be comforting her.
True.
Yeah, it's true. It's so sad. Nikki's sister runs a page with over 5,000 followers that is in memory of her sister. I think her sister just touched a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And I also think a lot of people are still angry that the twins received relatively light sentences. I mean, the whole thing is so tragic, but the fact is they will get out.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. And so I hope they are getting some life skills while being locked up that will serve them on the outside, because Della is in her 80s now, so she's probably not going to be around.
No.
Help them out upon their relief, and doesn't sound like any of the rest of the family gives a shit about them. And so they're going to be on their own.
Yeah. I will say, when I looked up all the services that they provide at these prisons, one of them is anger management. And so hopefully they are taking all the anger management classes that they can get.
Yeah. And like a trade or something. I mean, it would be so hard. Like, they've never been an adult on the outside.
Dude, that's the crazy part, right? It's like you have to now become a citizen in the world without any help. and you never actually learned how to even be a teenager.
Right. You know, something else that just really bothered me about this case is, I don't think I mentioned that their last name is Whitehead. And
did you not like that because you want to pop it, or like you think
yeah, because it's a pimple. And every time I'm like searching stuff about pimples comes up too. So I think maybe if Whitehead is your last name, change it
to White, or just no, not Head. I don't like Head either.
Head. I feel like the kids could go crazy with that. But yeah, maybe just change it to White, change it to Black. I don't give a shit. Just change it.
Somebody's name recently, I cannot remember, but the same thing. I was like, I don't know. I think you could change your last name. Like you can change it. And I don't think it's a big deal. Like just do it.
My cousin's last name was Duty and she just never liked it. Can't really blame her, right?
No.
So when she was in college, she changed her last name to Sigourney because she liked Sigourney. Yeah,
Sigourney Weaver or what?
Loves Sigourney Weaver. I mean, she has a different last name now because she's married, but I mean, for a while it was Kara Sigourney.
No way. I did not know that. Okay.
So yeah, change it. If your last name is a pimple.
Or just not suited for you.
Change it.
You could change it. Change your first name too. Shoot. But then you're going to have one of those, like, you know, when it says, when we pull up people's records, it's like, what else have they gone by? What other aliases are there?
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. You know, they're shady when you see that they have like could have gone by and they've like used their name, but they've just changed like one or two letters.
Yes. Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're shady. Because I never find the need to change the letters in my name.
No. Gretchen.
No, I was just having the discussion with some people were like asking me what people call me. And I said, you know, yeah, people call me Gretch, people call me Gretchy, you know, whatever. And they were like, we're not comfortable with that. That's reserved for like other people. I'm like, well, okay, whatever.
They'll get down to it because they'll be like, well, your name is only 2 syllables. So it's not so long like Tabitha. That's so like, it just feels like a mouthful to me.
Yeah. I was discussing, I don't think my husband enjoys my name. He's like, that's why I never say it. He's like, I only call you Gretchen when I'm mad at you.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
What does he call you?
Gretch? Babe.
Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
I like that.
Woman.
Woman.
Bring me some meatloaf. Yeah.
Are you making meatloaf tonight?
No, he did. You know what? He asked me to make him this week. He's like, could we just get some sloppy joes up in here?
Oh,
and I said,
my God.
No, we couldn't.
I have not had sloppy Joe since I was a kid, I don't think.
I think I had them at like the elementary school cafeteria and I did not enjoy them then. And I'm certainly not making them now. I did say, I will make you meatloaf. He's like, not the same. I'm like, well,
how do you even make sloppy Joes? It's ground meat with like sauce.
Puke, ketchup.
It is ground meat with sauce, right? On a bun.
He probably wants the kind you just get straight out of a can.
Oh, I know. He probably does.
Listen, he's so disgusting.
My husband does shit like that too. He's like Kraft macaroni and cheese with tuna fish.
Oh, ew.
I know. So gross. And he's like, no, it's like his childhood memory of favorite foods.
Yeah.
Like,
Fred does request the tuna casserole every once in a while. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it.
No.
Sorry.
But I used to eat a shit ton of Hamburger Helper when I was a kid. And
there's nothing wrong with a Hamburger Helper.
Okay. See, I like it too.
Hamburger Helper is good. But that tuna helper, I could vomit right now just thinking about it.
I know. And I do like tuna fish too. So it's not that.
I like mine with a little fresh dill, celery, red onion.
Cold. Not hot.
Not warm. No.
Yeah, I think it's the warm tuna that gets to me with like the mayonnaise and then you warm it up. It's no. I have been wanting to go out to dinner. Like I want to go sit at a restaurant and get served by somebody for...
That sounds fun.
It does, doesn't it? I can't seem to find the time with all of my kids' sporting events. And yesterday, Kyla had a sporting event and it ended early. So I was like, amazing, we can go to dinner. She's like, no, I want to watch all the other grades compete against the same sport that I just competed again. I was like, please, no, can we just leave? but no, we couldn't.
Yeah.
So there goes that idea. Anyways, if you want more of us and you have not heard me say yet to go to patreon.com/housewives of true crime, then this is your cue to do that unless you listen on Apple. And if you do, it's very easy. You just go to your podcast app and it'll say right there when you pull us up, I'm doing it right now so I could just see exactly what it looks like. It should have just a little thing on it that says subscribe, and you just click it and you will get another episode every Thursday of us. Oh, we have something coming up soon, as soon as our website guy gets it together, but you will be able to talk to us. You will be able to actually leave us a voice message on our website, which is getting updated right now, which is housewivesoftruecrime.com. And if you haven't gone to any of our social pages, we are all over the place, including YouTube. So hit us up. Is that it, Gretch?
I think that's it.
All right. So hopefully you guys are all getting prepared for your summer break, which is coming up right around this damn corner.
Ham, Easter. Hope you have some good leftovers.
Yeah. Hopefully so. And that's it. So clinkety clink clink.
Clinkety clink clink.